Is Mars hiding something truly terrifying? For decades, we've sent rovers and orbiters to the Red Planet, searching for signs of life, water, and a better understanding of our planetary neighbor. We found dried-up riverbeds, polar ice caps, and fascinating geological formations. But what if, amidst all that rust-colored dust, NASA found something that defied all explanation, something that sent a chill down the spine of every scientist who saw it? This isn't just a story about rocks and dust. This is about a discovery so strange, so unsettling, that it forces us to question everything we thought we knew about Mars. Prepare yourself, because we're about to look at the scariest thing NASA has ever found on the Martian surface. The year is 2012. The Curiosity rover, a car-sized mobile science laboratory, has just made its dramatic and successful landing in Gale Crater. Its mission is ambitious: to determine if Mars ever had the right environmental conditions to support small life forms called microbes. The rover is armed with a suite of advanced scientific instruments, cameras, and a rock vaporizing laser. For months, Curiosity diligently explored the crater floor, analyzing soil samples and drilling into rocks. The data coming back was phenomenal, confirming that Gale Crater was once a giant lake, potentially habitable for billions of years. But then, as Curiosity made its way towards the crater's central peak, Mount Sharp, it stumbled upon something that wasn't on any geological chart. It started with an anomaly in the landscape. Peeking out from beneath a layer of reddish dust was a structure unlike anything else seen on Mars. It was dark, almost metallic in its sheen, and had a bizarre, twisted shape. From a distance, it looked like a piece of abstract sculpture, something that had been melted and then flash-frozen into a grotesque form. Mission controllers at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory were baffled. Was it just an unusual type of rock? A meteorite? The rover was commanded to move closer, its high-resolution mastcam zooming in on the object. As the images loaded, line by line, on the screens back on Earth, a stunned silence fell over the control room. This was no rock. It was a tangled, skeletal-looking mass of metallic tendrils, jutting out of the ground at odd angles. It looked eerily organic, almost like the fossilized remains of some strange, alien creature's root system or circulatory system. Some parts were smooth and almost polished, while others were rough and gnarled, covered in a strange flaky patina. The object was roughly the size of a small bush, and it seemed to be partially buried. The way it emerged from the Martian soil was deeply unsettling. It didn't look like it had crashed there. It looked like it had grown there. Scientists immediately nicknamed it the Martian flower, but the name didn't capture the eerie feeling it invoked. It looked less like a flower and more like something out of a nightmare. The rover's chemical analysis instrument, ChemCam, was fired up. This instrument shoots a powerful laser at a target, vaporizing a tiny amount of it and analyzing the resulting plasma to determine its elemental composition. The team needed to know what this thing was made of. Everyone expected it to be a standard iron-nickel meteorite, which, while interesting, are not unheard of on Mars. The results came back, and they only deepened the mystery. The object was composed of elements that were not typically found together in natural Martian geology or in most meteorites. It contained a strange amalgam of iron, manganese, and other trace elements in unusual proportions. More confusingly, the composition wasn't uniform. Different parts of the structure yielded different readings, suggesting it was a complex, composite object, not a simple chunk of space rock. The science team was in a frenzy. Theories began to fly. Could it be a rare type of fulgurite, created when lightning strikes sand, melting it into glass? Mars has massive dust storms that can generate static electricity, but a strike powerful enough to create such a large, complex structure seemed unlikely. Plus, the metallic composition didn't quite fit. Another theory proposed it was a unique form of diagenesis, a process where sediments are altered by heat and pressure after being deposited. Perhaps mineral-rich water flowed through a crack in the rock. depositing these strange elements over millions of years, creating what's known as a concretion. Some concretions on Earth can take on bizarre shapes, but nothing quite like this metallic, tangled mess had ever been documented. The shape was the most disturbing part. It didn't follow the clean, crystalline patterns of mineral growth. It was chaotic, yet it had a kind of twisted, organized structure to it. It looked almost biological, like a petrified nerve cluster or a vascular network. This led to the most chilling hypothesis of all, one that scientists were hesitant to even whisper. Could it be a fossil? If it were a fossil, it would be unlike any life we know. Life on Earth is carbon-based. This object was metallic. This would imply the existence of a completely alien biology, a form of life that built its body not from soft tissues and bone, but from metal and rock. The concept of metallolife, or silicon-based life, has been a staple of science fiction, but finding potential evidence of it was staggering. The team used Curiosity's robotic arm to get even closer, using the Mars Hand Lens Imager, or MHLI, to take microscopic pictures of the object's surface. The close-up views were even more bizarre. The surface was covered in tiny spherical nodules and intricate web-like patterns. It looked as if a metallic liquid had been sprayed and had solidified in complex droplets and filaments. The structure was incredibly old. Based on the geological layer it was found in, it was estimated to be over 3 billion years old. For 3 billion years, this terrifying skeletal form had been sitting there, waiting to be discovered, a silent monument to a Mars that was vastly different from the world we see today. The discovery was never announced to the public with the sensationalism it might have deserved. NASA is a scientific organization, and they deal in facts and verifiable data, not speculation. The official explanation released was that it was a complex concretion or a diagenetic feature, a geological artifact of Mars's watery past. They pointed to its mineral composition as evidence of mineral-rich fluids flowing through rock fractures. The images were released, of course, on the public rover mission websites, cataloged with a scientific designation. But without the dramatic context, it was just another weird-looking rock among thousands of other weird-looking rocks. Yet for those who knew the full story, for the scientists who saw the data and debated its origin, the object represented something far more profound and unsettling. It represented a fundamental unknown. Science is about finding answers, but this object only created more questions. If it was just a rock, why was its shape and composition so unique, so unlike anything else found on Mars or Earth? The number of coincidences required for it to form naturally seemed astronomically high. And if it wasn't a rock, what was it? The implications were terrifying. If it was a remnant of an ancient Martian life form, it meant that life could evolve in ways we can barely imagine. Not gentle microbes in a pond, but perhaps something far stranger, something metallic and complex that thrived in the harsh Martian environment billions of years ago. What happened to this life? Did it die out when Mars lost its atmosphere and water? Or did it retreat, perhaps deep underground, where conditions might still be favorable? The thought that something or the descendants of something that built itself from metal could still be lurking beneath the Martian dust is a truly scary prospect. This single strange object found by Curiosity serves as a chilling reminder. We look at Mars as a dead world, a blank canvas upon which we project our own hopes for future exploration and colonization. But we have only scratched the surface, literally. We have explored a fraction of a single percent of the planet. What else is buried under the sand? What other secrets does the red planet hold? Every image of a strange rock formation, every unusual chemical reading could be a clue. The Martian flower is officially a geological curiosity, but unofficially, for those who have seen the evidence up close, it is the scariest thing NASA has ever found. A dark, twisted question mark jutting out of the Martian soil. A silent testament to the vast and terrifying mysteries that still await us in the cosmos. Thank you for watching. If you want to dive deeper into the mysteries of our universe, make sure to subscribe to Space Repo for more incredible journeys into the unknown.